I invite Captain Praveen Chaturvedi. He is the founder and CEO of Prachyam Studios. Obviously, you must have seen the videos, they go pretty viral. And he's a merchant marine officer who has turned filmmaker. Guided by his guru, Praveen ji explored Bharat's philosophy, culture, and sciences. His exposure to the world of filmmaking during his naval tenure sparked an enduring passion, promoting him to pursue formal cinematic training at USC and UCLA. Subsequently, he worked with some of the top studios and professionals of Hollywood. Praveen ji returned to Bharat in 2012 with the intent of fusing his passion for Bharat's vibrant culture and heritage with the realm of cinema. He first co-founded a film production company and later has launched Prachyam, which is now an OTT. Not so great in reading out, or am I? So whatever, so Prachyam, Praveen ji, your turn now. Let's hear from you.
Thank you, Rahul ji. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Hind. Thank you. A lot of thanks to the organizers of World Hindu Congress, World Hindu Foundation, for giving me and all of us this opportunity to be here. The time is short. Having made more than 150 films and videos, I just selected very few of them, the shortest ones, to show it to you. I thought, my films should speak on my behalf. And it is said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and a film is worth 1,000,000 words. So I will just start my presentation with a film. This presentation is in 3 parts. What we were or what we are as Hindus, what we became or what we were made to become, the second part, and the third part is what we should do for Hindu resurgence through the media, through the medium of films, audiovisual medium, and in the best possible way. So I'll start with a short film on this. Oops. One second. Yeah.
Once upon a time, thousands of years ago, in a mighty land surrounded by seas from 3 sides, ruled the lions. This was their kingdom. But there were the hyenas too around this kingdom, and they had a different plan. They marched on the lion kingdom, looted, killed, and devoured it. The warrior lions stood tall, fought like real brave hearts for 300 solid years. But numbers do matter. Just when things were looking very bleak, there came the jackals from the west. By now, 1,000 years had gone by, and the grandeur of the lion kingdom was just a distant memory. But every hero's journey has a turning point, right? The lion cubs started feeling the itch, the yearning for the golden past. Rebellion began. But now, the hyenas had the jackals by their side. They made a deal with the hyenas of giving them a prized piece of land before they were forced out by the lions. The throne of the lion land went to the old lions, who had grown close to the hyenas and jackals. The old lions are gone, and so is their throne. But their legacies are kept alive, pandering to the distant hyenas and jackals, conniving to reclaim the throne. The young cubs are purposely kept in the dark to prey on them. It's high time for these cubs to wake up and be ready to take on the looming threats. The real question is, will you? Yes, you. Because you are the cub. You belong to a great warrior tradition. So wake up and protect your Punya Bhumi.
Thank you. So, a short story of my journey. I was, as you know, a Marine officer captain. I went to pursue my passion to learn filmmaking. It started from Canada, and then I went to US to study. And while I was working in Hollywood, I noticed one thing, that the audio-visual medium, the medium of films, was being used as a weapon by the left, by the communist, by the anti-Bharat forces, and there was nothing being done to counter those fake narratives being peddled by them. And I noticed that, you know, these entire ecosystem of the left was very well funded. They were making very high-quality films, and you know, it was having a great impact, you know, on our youth, and it was you know, making them believe, you know, whatever the fake narratives they were saying were actually true. So that's how my journey started. I thought, you know, that we should come back, and I thought, you know, of focusing on two things after founding Prachyam. The first was, you know, that it is very important, incumbent, you know, that we come up with counter narratives, you know, to counter those fake narratives. And the second thing was, India is a great country with a great culture, with a great civilization, over thousands, hundreds and thousands of years, you know. And in our upcoming film, we are going to prove it with the scientific evidences that Bharati civilization is 50,000 years old at least. So we have to, I thought, you know, we have to put forth the true narrative of Bharat. That was very important. And we have to give the youth a sense of pride, you know, for the culture, for the country, for the civilization, and for Hindu Dharma. So on these founding principles, Prachyam was founded, and we started off on this journey. Now, as you see, what we did, you know, since there was a lot of ideological subversions, as we have talked about in our film, Sahibs Who Never Left, I'm sure some people must have seen Sahibs 1 and Sahibs 2. We talked about ideological subversion in those films. You know, since we went through this worst phase of ideological subversion, I thought, you know, people, they don't have the right sense of history, especially the youth. And we thought, you know, that if we come up with videos with this shared history, and I'm going to show that, you know, then people will connect, you know, because we all have shared, you know, the same history of Bharati civilization, of Bharati Sanskriti. So we started, you know, with this, distilling the essence of struggles, values, and philosophy. Now, it's very difficult, not easy, but, you know, we distilled, you know, like thousands of years of history, thousands of years of amazing versatile culture, our civilizational ethos, into some very short films, in short form content, so that people can watch it intently, and they can understand the essence of it. And so this led to actually creating a lot of impact, and I'll show you a video which really went viral in just one day, and I'm going to talk about that. So this is the video we had posted on Deepavali. Some of you must have seen it. YouTube took it off in just 1 hour. And they said, you know, it violates their content. I don't know what content policy they have, why it violated that content policy. It was, you know, the struggle of Ram Mandir movement, you know, where so many Hindus, they laid their lives, you know. It was about that, you know, put it together. In just a few minutes, you know, we have put the entire struggle and the history of Ram Mandir movement. But in these platforms, on these platforms, these big techs, they have a lot of problems if you talk about, Hindu culture, Hindu history, Hindu civilization, Hindu values, Hindu philosophies. So I knew, so we immediately went into appeal, and then they rejected the appeal also. But then we posted on our Twitter, and it went viral, and in one day we had about 10 million views, and 10 million on other platforms, 20 million views. And they all started tagging YouTube and Sundar Pichai, calling them out, and see that is the power of Hindu unity, that they were forced to put back the video. We reinstated the video, and I said, well, this is not going to end here. So I talked to my friends who are lawyers in Supreme Court, and I said, that we have to sue them, and we have to ask them questions, that why in the first place they removed it, and what actually was their content policy, and who was there sitting there deciding on this, and why, and what we violated. And now, why do they think that, that violation of content is no more there, and they have decided to put it back, So I want the answers to these questions. That's why I want to sue them, And it is very important that we all come together and ask these questions to these people, So here's the video.
अगर है राम में साहस तो क्यों नहीं आए अभी तक वो तुम्हारी रक्षा को, जिनका वर्णन करने में थकती नहीं हो तुम यहाँ, ये बताओ वो तुम्हारे राम है इस पल कहाँ।
मैं आपको बता नहीं सकती और बयान नहीं कर सकती कहाँ कहाँ से किस किस तरीके की धमकी मुझे है।
राम हृदय में है मेरे, राम ही धड़कन में है, राम मेरी आत्मा में, राम ही जीवन में है। राम हर पल में है मेरे, राम है हर श्वास में, राम हर आशा में मेरी, राम ही हर आस में।
राम ही तो करुणा में है, शांति में राम है, राम ही है एकता में, प्रगति में राम है। राम बस भक्तों नहीं शत्रु की भी चिंतन में है, देख तज के पाप रावण, राम तेरे मन में है, राम तेरे मन में है, राम मेरे मन में है, राम तेरे मन में है, राम मेरे मन में है।
I'm a proud Hindu and that's how I was raised.
राम हर आंगन में है, मन से रावण जो निकाले, राम उसके मन में है।
जय सिया राम।
मन से रावण जो।
I'm actually incredibly excited about the future of India. I think India has more promise than any large country in the world. I am a fan of Modi, so.
Jai Shri Ram. Thank you. So I come to the next one, how we have made videos showing the paradoxes The anti-Bharat narrative, it thrives on the short-term memory. Videos and memes that we have made have become extremely popular, and they have been really loved by the masses, and it is very effective in countering, these fake narratives. So how we have unmasked the hypocrisy, I'll just talk about that, the paradoxes. What we became.
For more than 50,000 years, Bharat Bhumi thrived as the pinnacle of human civilization. But somewhere, somehow, things changed. Mughals became Indians, and Indians became Kafirs. Akbar became tolerant, and Shivaji became fascist. Invaders became Kashmiris, and Kashmiris became refugees. Europeans became richer, and Indians became beggars. Stooges became controllers, and patriots became criminals. Maoists became intellectuals, and intellectuals were labeled bhakts. Terrorists became activists, and soldiers became persecutors. Conversion became secular, and reconversions became communal. Propaganda became the truth, and lies became history. Yoga became scientific, and yogis became unscientific. Jai Shri Ram became conservative, and Bharat Tere Tukde Honge became liberal. Journalists became prostitutes, and honesty became hate-mongering. Our philosophies became global, and our country became primitive. Appeasement became inclusive, and Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas became fascist. So, for the sake of your motherland, act now and learn to be unapologetic.
So we need to understand the history very well. This is 1,000 years of our history in just 2 minutes. What we became. It's very important that we understand that what we became and how we became that. And the sense of history is very, very important. And also an absolute love for your motherland, for your country. And this I have learned a lot from my dear friend Uday Mahorkarji is here. The idea of Bharat first. And he has always inspired me with this idea right from the beginning. And so many people I've met in this journey who have been a great source of strength and inspiration and encouragement too. Now, establishing truth, when we are talking about Hindu resurgence, now what happens after this intrigue, that we have developed? Providing alternate narratives is equally important. You see, first part was, that we come with counter narratives, those fake narratives being peddled by the left, by the anti-Bharat forces. But then what next? You have to have a very good sense of how to put your original narrative of Bharat to the audience around the world. Because destructing or demolishing something is very easy, but creating is very challenging. So that's how we started, creating. So we came up with this concept of 10 Bharatiya films. These are 10 civilizational films on Bharat to put forth the true narrative of Bharat on the world map. And here it is, as you can see, the Aryans, the fallacy of Aryan invasion theory, dating the Mahabharata, dating the Ramayana, 50,000 years of Bharatiya civilization, Sahibs who never left. Bharat's gifts to the world, the Guru Shishya Parampara, which is going to be released. You saw the promo here yesterday. Demystifying Aghor, healing the world, and Swaraj warriors. And here is the, the very short 1-minute promo of these films.
Our childhoods have been inspired listening to glorious stories of Bharatvarsh, times when avatars walked amongst us. But slowly and deliberately, all of it was whitewashed as mere mythology, and with it, our identity too. We were taught that there is no evidence. But what if it's right in front of our eyes, and new age technology can prove it? Prachyam presents 10 Indic documentaries, a compilation of cutting-edge research that seeks the true dates of Mahabharat, Ramayana, and Indian antiquity. Your story is older than you think.
Thank you. So as you see, these films are at par with the best in the world, with the best of the technologies which is being used in the Hollywood. We have, the same setup with the same team, very, very, very intelligent, very creative, very technical team who are working day and night. And some of my colleagues are here, Kshitij and Abhishek, who have dedicated their lives, for this cause and for the resurgence of Hindus. The challenges that we come across and how do we decide to meet it, the censorship, as I talked about on YouTube, on these big tech companies, on these social media platforms. They shadow ban you. It's very difficult to make out. They will throttle your reach. Monetization is a big challenge, because everything is governed and driven by money. So donations, some people do come forward and give, that helps, but it's not regular. And this craft is very, very expensive. A good quality of cinema is very expensive. Talent, it's a great challenge to find a talent. There's a lot of talent in our country, but as you know, our curriculum and education system, they are all hijacked by the left. So the first precondition that we have at Prachyam Studios is that the talent has to be aligned with our cause. So that's a great challenge that we come across. Then we have to train them. There are lack of proper film institutes in India. In US, you have it maybe in almost most of the major universities I've seen. Algorithm. There's a fixed algorithm, on which the content is made. And if you want to go on those platforms, you have to have, that kind of algorithm on which, your content is created, otherwise it won't get viral. So that's a big challenge. So what we did, to meet that challenge, we came up, with the first Hindu OTT platform in the world. So now, you have all the Hindus around the world have their own OTT platform, Prachyam. It's prachyam.com. Anybody can go. There is a section you can watch free. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe and see the Prachyam original series. There are many series coming up. The current one is History of Invasions on Bharat, right from the 7th century, the Islamic invasions, what we have gone through. So we thought, it is time that we should have our free voice and we should have our own platform. So we came up with Prachyam OTT. So it took care of, the censorship because it was a Hindu-owned platform. Monetization, little bit, it improved because now there was a subscription model in place. And also, there is a provision that people want to sponsor a documentary or a series, they can come forward and say that, I want to sponsor that. So that really, helped us a lot. And of course, it has its own challenges. Talent is solved to a great extent now because we have multiple creators who want to collaborate, who are absolutely aligned with our cause that we are working, and they're content creators, and they said, if they can come and they can exhibit, their work on our platform. So that is a great help, after we started the Prachyam OTT. And the algorithm, as I said, that if you want to go viral, a great piece of classical music will not get viral on these platforms, because they are governed by that algorithm. But yes, if you have your own platform, you can go into more classic kind of content, classic filmmaking. Because I always say that India has got, Bharat has got, the greatest tradition of storytelling in the world. Actually, we have taught the world the storytelling. And if you see what great stories we have, if you look at our Itihas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Mahabharata, I say, is the greatest story, greatest script, greatest screenplay in the history of mankind, Or you read the stories of Upanishad or Puran, it's a great tradition. So we have so much to do. Now moving ahead, what Prachyam, would like to be, just to explain that, like you have the curiosity stream, we would like to be the curiosity stream. Or the movie of Indic content, where there is a repository of great films, videos, Indic Bharati content. Create original content. There's so much to be done. When I look, on our great the legacies, of rishis, the great philosophies, the great stories, the great scriptures, there's so much is to be told. So we are slowly working, but we have to scale it up, to a great extent. Develop revenue sharing capacity for other creators. Other creators, content creators can come, and we are working out that we can share the revenue with them, a revenue sharing model with them. So that's it. Thank you so much for your time. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.